What is up, guys? Welcome to the fourth episode of People's Podcast. Last time we had some audio troubles, which seem like we got fixed right now. The video might be a little laggy, but it's the best we got for now. First things first, before we get started, as you can see, we have some new design changes. We've actually been working with a new designer. He was supposed to be on today, but some things happened, so he wasn't able to. So we're hoping that we can get him on in the future. Um, and if you guys, we want you guys to comment. We want to start a community here, so make sure you guys are talking in the comments. We do still have donations available. I think I have a link on there on the Facebook page. So I don't have a link in the title. I did not put one today. Sorry about that. But we're gonna let Isaac take on the weekly coronavirus updates. So Isaac, go ahead.
All right, hey guys. So the coronavirus has gotten in certain areas in the country, we've reached the peak, but it looks like, especially in the state of Nebraska and basically everywhere except for the East Coast, we're just still climbing. We're almost to that peak point. In Nebraska, we have 1,722 confirmed cases, 647 of those being in Hall County, with a total of 38 deaths. I don't. This is from what I found on Google. I had heard from other people different numbers, but I'm going with what I can find. The information about what to do has not changed. Stay home. Don't don't be going out doing social things. Keep yourself at home, safe, socially distant, and make sure that you look to your local health department for better information that is going to be more based in the facts than just me telling you numbers and that you need to stay at home.
Definitely. All right.
Another thing on the note of that, actually, so Nebraska made national news due to the coronavirus twice in the last 2 weeks, I want to say.
I feel like it's
Um,
just the last week.
it might be just the last week, yeah. With one of them being on MSNBC on a talk show. I don't know what talk show, but I know that we made it. And then CNN, not 2 weeks, just like earlier on in this week. All of them talking about how specifically Grand Island has become a massive epicenter in the Midwest for a number of cases, as well as some people that are not following safe social.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, Scott? Thank you for joining our podcast. All right. I guess let's just get into the first topic then.
All right. So this is just branching off of the coronavirus. Just quick one. How much protection is a mask really? So it says that Melissa Ring, who asked this, she personally likes the idea, but so many are in a state of confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the m- well, it's not necessarily like an airborne virus, but if you're 2 feet away from someone, that's how it's going to be spread, whether it's airborne or not. So the idea of wearing a mask to protect your breathing, it's going to help. I mean, we don't really have a lot of else to do besides like wearing plastic gloves and stuff. So
Yeah.
just the
Um,
mask, yeah.
Masks actually can be really helpful. It really depends on what kind of mask. Because a lot of people are trying to wear cloth masks, and cloth masks are actually just for looks. They don't do anything. But about the gloves, actually, gloves is a terrible idea in my opinion, because gloves are meant to stop cross contamination. And most people, what they do is they wear the same gloves all day. And when you're doing that, all you're doing is spreading germs more and more. You're just better off not wearing gloves and just keeping some hand sanitizer with you and just pumping on some hand sanitizer on your hands while like throughout the day. You're better off doing that than just wearing a pair of gloves. But masks can be helpful, like you said, when if you are next to someone, so you don't breathe in like the coronavirus if they kind of exhale or they sneeze or something. But when you're using a cloth, like Buffalo Wild Wings, they gave us masks, and they were like little thin pieces of cloth. You can see through. You can see through it. It's not going to do anything. But there's lots of different types of ones that you can make online. Like you can just look up on YouTube, and there's DIYs to make your own, and those ones actually can help if you do it right. It's just a matter of it having a filter and it being kind of thick enough to filter it through and not just let anything go through. So
Yeah, actually, I completely agree with that. And on the mask side of things, if we're talking specifically surgical masks, then that is exactly the case where the mask is going to do everything to help. But if you're wearing just like a cloth mask, like Matt had said, it's better than nothing, but it is not something to live by. If you're gonna go out of your way to like make a cloth mask, just know that you're getting minimal actual use out of it. If you're wearing a surgical mask or a respirator mask, which are the ones that painters wear and they're super super thick, those will do the best job. I had seen some numbers that if a person who was infected was not wearing a mask and someone who wasn't infected was not wearing a mask, it was upwards of 50% chance. But if you put the infected person wearing a mask and the person who's not infected without it, that number drops to about half of that. And then if both people are wearing masks, it's less than 10% that both people get it.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
So, just to wrap that up, it it is it helps, but it's not
Mhm.
really like the end all be all of everything in the situation.
Right.
But I
Okay.
mean, when you're in crowded places, I feel like you should. I
You
think it,
definitely should.
course.
like if you're gonna go
crowd.
to the store, go to Walmart or something, then definitely
Put
go
a
out and
mask.
wear one.
Yeah, like walking around your family members.
No, then if
You're
you're
not-
at your house, definitely like there's no point.
It's useless at that point because you're all around each other all day anyways.
Thank you for
But
that like, Trey.
the if you go out into a public crowded area, absolutely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, so we all know that Michael Jordan is the all-time king of basketball, but who is the prince of basketball from Jordan
Mm.
Hubbard?
That's a
Alright.
good one. You know, I'm not that big I'm not that big of basketball, but I mean, going off of what I would see around social media, I'd say either LeBron James or Kobe Bryant. One of those two, from at least what
Rest in
I've
peace,
seen.
the legend.
I mean, yeah, I'd say Kobe more than LeBron James. I think LeBron James is a bit
Mhm.
overrated. I mean,
You think
I
so?
don't
Yeah,
watch a lot of
I agree with
basketball as
that.
well.
I
I
yeah.
I personally think if we're talking somebody that's actually phenomenal at the game but doesn't get enough public appearance, I think James Harden, super great player. I think I would consider him to be the
Dude,
prince
James Harden's
of
pretty
basketball.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like people talk about like dropping 60-point games, and this dude does that. I think the
Mhm.
only difference between him and LeBron is the time they came into the league and who they play for.
Mhm.
Dude, everyone was hyping up that Stephen Curry kid like a couple
Stephen
years ago.
Curry.
Yeah. He's
Like he was
I mean,
good, but I swear he's not amazing.
yeah, great
No.
great like 3-point shooter, great from range, but as you can see because of his size deficit on the people around him,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
he
tiny.
Yeah,
he
compared to everyone else.
just yeah, so
And just a reminder, if you guys have any questions that you guys want us to talk about, either you guys can put them in the comments, and if we don't hit them today in today's podcast, we can hit them next week. So who did we conclude?
That was Jordan Hubbard.
No, wait, no. Who did we conclude was the prince?
Who was the prince?
Yeah,
I think
I mean,
it's
I didn't really talk.
disputed.
I don't know. We never
Yeah.
talked about like
Well, let's just
Magic
let's
or any of
let's
those
do
guys.
pros and
That's
cons.
true.
Pros and cons.
I'm not a big basketball watcher, so I can't really jump into this. I can try to put stuff in, but
I mean, my dad watches tons of basketball. I don't pay a ton of attention, but I
Yeah.
know the big names at least.
yeah, that's what I'm just saying. Just going off big names, I think Kobe is definitely a top contender.
Absolutely. And I think
Yeah.
I think you've got like if we're gonna lower it to 3 players, like just 3 guys that we have to just pick between, I'm gonna say Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and James.
Yeah.
Because
that's pretty good.
But
they're
out of the
all
three-
3 household. But out of those 3, my vote is James Harden. He's
See, I'm gonna stick with Kobe.
phenomenal.
Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna stick with Kobe.
Kobe.
I could
Kobe
see
was
that.
in
I
the
mean,
league
he's
forever,
great.
Too.
Yeah, he's an absolute legend, or
Yeah,
was.
definitely.
Rest in peace. But
Definitely.
it's
rest in
something
peace.
that he like. I don't know if he changed the game. Like I think he just was great.
That's fair enough.
I don't know. I don't think Harden
Yeah,
necessarily
but, I mean,
changed the
yeah,
game.
but I mean,
either.
you think about a real you think about a real prince and a real king. Kings are the ones that make the decisions. A prince is just kind of the backup. So yeah, Michael Jordan definitely changed the game. That's why he's the king. But Kobe was there. You know of Kobe, and he was good, and that's pretty much what a prince is. It's not necessarily someone who changes the game. I don't think they have to change the game to be a prince. If we're going off of like actual monarchy standards of what each role really does, because a prince doesn't do much.
I don't think LeBron James, as good as he is, he's just like he's so and
He's just like Stephen Curry.
yeah, exactly. He's only big because of the noise he made early in his.
Yeah, I know, because he went right out of high school, huh?
Seems like
Right, yeah.
Adrian Melgoza does not agree with James Harden. Adrian, who do you think? Let's hear what you think.
Let us know.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what you guys think. Who is the prince of basketball?
James Harden. for
I
real.
will dispute this.
I mean, I think James Harden's good. I wouldn't put him up there. I am just keeping Kobe, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
I think Kobe's the way to go here, in my opinion.
All right. So we're gonna move on. If Adrian answers, make sure you read it out. But
Okay.
we just had a record number of early ballots requested, and the record turnout in the primary in 48 years in Hall County. 9,200 were requested. How does COVID-19 have this effect on politics? And how effective is a vote by mail?
See,
Can
going back,
hardly.
Adrian thinks it's LeBron James.
No, complete this.
There's no way.
I don't know. I think LeBron James is too overrated, but Kobe,
For
I
real.
don't know. I think I'm gonna stick with Kobe. Let's hear your reasoning, Adrian.
All right, so back to this. Basically, how does COVID-19 have an effect on politics, and is a vote by mail effective? Well, vote by mail, of course, it's going to be effective, especially now when everyone's just sitting doing nothing at home, unless they're working from home or doing something like that. But when I mean, most of the time, the reason that people don't vote is either they're not informed or they're just too busy on that day. And the thing about COVID-19 is we're all sitting on our asses at home. You have more time to watch the news. You have more time to get informed. Not necessarily watch the news. I don't know if the news can be trusted, but you have enough time to get the information, and
Yeah.
you have enough time to vote. So why not do it? I assume is probably why a bunch of people are doing it.
Definitely, I would agree. I mean, a lot of people just kind of they're bored at home, so they watch like most of the people just turn on the news and they start watching it, and they get more active into these political scenes. So they're like, okay, well, I have my own view now, so I'm gonna vote. And so now you have a bigger voter turnout because pretty much the fact that people are bored at home. People are bored at home, so they're just getting into the political game, and they're finally coming up with their own views and their own ideals, and finally finding candidates that they like and they want to support. So it makes sense why these numbers are increasing, and especially when you're in a place like Nebraska where not too many people really get involved in politics, and when they do, it's pretty one-sided. So
Well, yeah, because I mean, people either don't vote because it's gonna go Republican anyways, or because I'm a Democrat and it doesn't matter because it's gonna go Republican anyways.
yeah,
It's like you don't really have anything. I mean, Bob Christ though, a couple years ago, whenever that was for governor,
Mhm.
I thought he was a really good candidate. We talked about him. Kendall Bartling worked for him, guy who asked the question. Uh, but Bob Christ was pretty cool. His policies were very, I don't want to say centrist, but he definitely, it was more uniting than anything. Like and a good example is he said he was pro-life, but that means for everything. So he's anti-death penalty too.
Which is fair.
Like that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Like that's coherent. And then like he was really supportive of like public schools and stuff
Mhm.
like that, which I'm not personally a big fan of how public schools run, but I mean, more funding, I guess. I mean,
And I really feel like if he were to run at this time, how it is right now, then I think he would get elected. He would definitely get elected.
yeah,
because so many people would actually be now watching politics and be like, okay, well, I can see this guy and I like things that he says, and I see like he's just a neutral guy all around, and a lot of people would be like, okay, I like this guy's ideas. So I think he just kind of came in at the wrong time because people were just again, Nebraska's a pretty one-sided political state. We're red. We're probably going to stay red for a long time, probably forever, because it's just how this state is. So
Well, until some fundamental change in how the parties are run.
yeah,
happens.
definitely.
But, all right, we've got Adrian said that LeBron is better than Kobe and James Harden. Okay. And then Louis says Larry Bird. I guess I don't know what you guys are
Point
talking
with
about.
Larry Bird.
Kobe's the best,
But
besides Michael
like,
Jordan.
Oh my gosh, my camera quality went to crap for some reason. It's all right. Sorry about the camera quality. I don't know what's going on with it now. There's always a technical difficulty. We can't catch a break here. So we'll just try to work this out. All right. You want to move on to the next one?
All right, so we've got I think this is gonna be my personal favorite question. Best way to have your steak cooked. I genuinely hope nobody disagrees. I already know, Matt, you like medium rare too, right?
I do,
Yes,
but I'll be
sir.
honest. I could eat a rare steak. I like
mean,
blood in my steaks.
It's nice and juicy and tender, and it's
Mhm.
not raw.
Most of the time, I get medium rare, so people don't look at me weird. But if I wanted to, I can definitely eat a rare easily.
I would get.
I
Oh,
actually
I like it.
completely agree with both.
you'd take a rare, Isaac.
I'd take a rare, but like medium rare is what I.
Oh
just
yeah,
'cause
that's
it's
just
also a safe bet.
yeah. You never go wrong with a medium rare.
And like medium, just dead medium, not medium well done. It's like straight medium's okay. When you get
Yeah.
to medium well done, it's like
Yeah, I don't. That's too much. Even medium, sometimes not enough pink for me.
Well, yeah, it can turn into shoe leather real quick.
oh yeah.
Especially if like the
Massive problem.
person's not cooking it right, then definitely.
I mean,
Nobody
I
wants
just had
to eat
I just had a
stuff.
good ass steak for dinner.
Did
My
you?
dad grilled them up, so
Damn, that sounds
I
good.
yeah, I just had that medium rare steak. It was nice.
Oh, but for sure, medium rare all the way.
All the
And
way.
if you, okay, let's be honest here. If any of you guys like well done, then you guys can frick off.
Oh
True.
yeah, for sure,
True.
sure.
We
that's
don't
a
eat
fact.
we don't eat shoe leather around here. That's
Yeah,
disgusting.
we don't like that.
Exactly.
Whoever gets well done, I mean, I just
For
don't
real.
even know how to describe how much I hate that type of person.
Oh yeah,
Especially if you're from Nebraska.
Dude,
Like
we're a beef state.
we're a beef state.
Yeah.
If you eat overcooked meat, which
We're
is
a
what
beef
that
state,
is.
and you don't know how to cook your steak.
yeah. You know how to eat steak properly. Like,
Gosh.
come on, get out of here. You're not a real Nebraskan. Like I'm from New Jersey and I know how to eat a steak right.
Exactly.
That's all right.
All right. We came to a common conclusion on this. That was a pretty easy one.
That was nice. All right, this one we got it from the homie Josh. He's got another one after this question too. Who is the better rapper, MGK or Eminem?
Oh,
See, they did have a beef.
they did.
They did have a beef, and I always say that Eminem won that, but a lot of people who are MGK fans bring up some good points about how like he brings lyrics back from Eminem's first songs into his diss track, and like it's just some kind of more complicated stuff to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But like,
actually,
but Eminem did the same thing, because I just saw something recently on a diss track that Eminem did, where he had MGK's ex-girlfriend in the background looking at basketball.
Yeah. I
So
can see that.
I mean, it goes both ways. But if you're talking about legacy and like rap legacy and stuff, Eminem.
Oh, yeah, for
Eminem
sure.
away.
but
He's been the best for years and years.
Definitely.
He straight fell off though as he got older.
Yeah.
Like I think like his really recent stuff is really good. Like
Yeah.
his most recent album.
For-
But like anywhere from like 2008 to 2018, I'm like, what the hell is this? It's so bad.
yeah, I mean, for our viewers, listeners, however you choose to podcast, that don't know about the Eminem MGK beef. So it was started, and it's old beef now. It was in like what was it like
I think it was-
August, September of last year, and
I don't know if it was that recent.
No,
It
it was
was-
it was pretty recent.
Huh.
yeah, like I'm talking like for like it was 2018 August or
Oh, okay.
September.
Yes.
Those so what happened was Eminem, it was right after he had released his surprise album Kamikaze, which I personally didn't much care for, but it had some good songs. I think then there was a line in it where Eminem said something to the effect, but we already know who the F you are, Kelly. And next time you don't got to use a Tech 9 when you want to come at me with a submachine gun, which
R.
was
Kelly.
in reference to he was dissing both R. Kelly and Machine Gun Kelly. And MGK, like that whole tape was just dissing the current rap. And
Okay,
MGK,
every single Eminem album is him dissing something.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
that's
just
true.
Eminem. That's how he got popular. He started dissing his mom. So
Dissing
Right.
his mom,
mean-
dissing
And-
politicians.
yeah,
so MGK was the only one that really got butthurt about it. And he came out, I think, a week later with a track called Rap Devil, which is a play on one of Eminem's biggest songs, Rap God. In that track, he goes and took old lyrics, like Matt said, and referenced it, and then he also interpolated and did things like talked about how they're both from the Midwest, both their dads, and proceeded to spin this story not only in the track but also on social media, where he said that Eminem tried to blackball him out of the music industry by not letting him go on his radio talk show Shade 45, and there was this MGK blew this up into this massive thing that it really wasn't. It was just Eminem found some nice wordplay and said it.
And
And
Eminem
then-
did not care.
see, but
Right.
you gotta think on MGK's part. Like, you really gonna how much of a bitch would you look like if you just let a guy diss you
That's
in a
true.
rap? You can't just
That's
let
true.
someone diss you if you're a rapper. That's just kind of one of the rules in the rap game. You can't just back down. You have to diss
Right.
back. And you can't
Yeah.
just let it happen because then you're gonna get stomped all over. And especially, I mean, the competition on white rappers is so high because
Yeah.
there's so little of them. So like, and if you think about white rapper, Eminem's usually the first one that comes to mind. So when you're trying to also make a name for yourself under Eminem, you can't back down in that situation.
Yeah, if you can take Eminem down a peg to make yourself blow up, I mean, you have to take that opportunity.
Even this diss
Absolutely.
thing took him up a peg because
yeah,
it brought his
absolutely.
name out.
And that's actually what Eminem called him out on his clapback. But before we get any further into talking about the beef and everything and talking about like everything, I'm just gonna divulge and let you know that my opinion is MGK won.
Do you think MGK
You're
won?
stupid.
That's
Eminem
okay.
has been rapping for like 3 years.
That's okay.
And he's
I don't
had
know.
banger after banger after banger.
Right,
Except
and
for
I don't think
2008 to
MGK is a
2018.
I don't think MGK is a better rapper, nor do I think he will ever be a better
Okay,
rapper
well,
than
the
Eminem.
question is who is the better rapper?
Oh yeah,
out of
Eminem is a better
so
rapper.
yes, yeah, Eminem is a better rapper, absolutely. But MGK won that beef because
No.
Rap Devil was so different. And honestly, if you listen to it now, it still holds weight. Whereas
You
a
just
lot of
like
what
it 'cause
Eminem
he
did,
calls his beard weird. That's
all
the
that
only reason you like it.
all the Eminem's track was a rebuttal, and he just kind of said this is the way it's gonna be, this is how it's gonna be, and I love diss tracks. That's like about a third of what I listen to is diss track because it's just fun to hear people be mad at each other, and if you think about it from the super zoomed out perspective, it's two grown men writing poetry about each other.
It's super cute, honestly.
Exactly. And
I
that's
mean,
the
if you
thing,
think
like-
about it, it really is pretty cute.
It's a little bromance going on.
Exactly. And so that's what I'm saying. I completely feel like I feel like MGK won the beef. Eminem's a better rapper just based on stats alone.
Okay, whatever, dude. Whatever. Whatever.
I don't know.
Moving on.
I like MGK, but Eminem, I think he's got my heart there.
Eminem's better.
Like I could listen to some MGK, but I would prefer Eminem any day.
oh,
any
I,
day.
I agree with that actually.
And
Actually, I
I-
agree with that too.
I think Eminem won it, but that's my opinion, I guess. I guess we don't all share the same opinion here. I thought we would, but I thought we all had common sense here.
Yeah, true.
Ouch, ouch.
No
Ow.
brain.
Wow, just because I like the new wave of rap.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
That's literally why.
Yeah, he likes Gucci Gang.
He likes
I
Gucci
actually-
Gang, Little Pump.
Not gonna lie, I bumped that song unironically. Like
yeah,
3
of course
weeks
we
ago.
know.
Yeah, I
We
know.
know.
You liked Gucci Gang. You like the Minecraft parodies of rap.
I actually.
Oh, that's the new
okay, but
wave.
you like those too.
That's the new
They're
wave.
so
right there.
funny. They're so
They
good.
really are.
You straight put me onto that stuff.
Blasting that in the car.
Yeah.
Literally goes from an Eminem song to a Minecraft parody out of nowhere, no warning.
Of the same Eminem song.
Yeah, he puts it in alphabetical order.
Rap
Yes.
God Minecraft parody is horrible. All right.
Alright.
The homie Josh, question number 2. What is the better TV show? The Office, Friends, or Parks and Rec? Well, in order to be the better TV show, you have to be a good TV show in the first place. So Friends is out
No,
automatically.
okay, I don't know.
Friends-
Friends is
Oh
pretty
yeah.
good.
Oh yeah. I like
No.
this guy.
Friends is not.
Friends,
I guess
Friends is
I'm kind of
horrible.
biased here since me and Mac wrote a play over Friends, but I do not think it's horrible.
It's
I
disgusting.
If
dislike
anything, I
not
think
funny at
last
all.
place is Office, and the only reason why is because
Bruh.
it was so overhyped and turned into a quirky
Oh, yeah.
personality thing to the point where I think it should be last place.
Okay,
Oh
but it
my
was
God,
low-key
I'm
fun.
not like
It
other
was,
girls
but-
'cause I watched The Office.
Yeah, it was. But
Okay,
it just
that
kinda
part
got
I
ruined.
dislike.
It's like, okay, it's the same thing with Fortnite. Fortnite could have been a good game, but the community killed it.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, like the
community is
first, like
horrible.
honestly, if we're talking about The Office, it's the first 6 seasons that are good to watch, and the last 2 are just
They're just
They're-
closure. I mean, they're just closure. I'm not saying
Right,
the
and
show,
they're-
Michael's not there.
the show itself isn't terrible, but it's the community that kind of brought it down. And that's, I mean, the community latches on to anything that
I
like,
can see that.
and it brings down or brings up everything.
But you gotta think about it. Friends has the same quirky girl thing going on.
Yeah, but most of those girls are all grown up and in their 20s to 30s now. So like,
mean,
it's
if we're-
not that bad anymore.
If we're talking about this, the fact that the Office memes are super normie and still relevant in the normie community, when the last episode of the TV show aired in 2012,
2012, yeah.
that
and
is
people still
8
talk
years
about it.
ago, and people still absolutely cheese over this show.
Yeah, I mean, people cheese over some Star Wars movies that were made a long time ago too.
Okay,
I
but
don't think
that
that
is
date
a long
has.
line to draw.
I don't think date has anything to do with it.
No, that's different. I wasn't talking about date. I'm saying like
Yeah, I know, but he's
people-
trying to bring dates and how old stuff is.
Yeah,
I don't think that should like. If people like it, they like it. There's
TV
fans
shows
over
are-
everything.
yeah. I mean, I guess I just feel like there's a limit to the pop culture side of it. Like, I
there's
feel
a
like it
limit
should
to
fall
how
into
many
the.
times you can rewatch every single season of The Office and still be a sane human being.
Yeah, I know. Like
yeah,
Josh,
absolutely. It's
he's,
probably one.
Josh. He's rewatched The Office like 3 times, but I'm pretty
Jeez,
sure
man.
I've talked to him and he likes Parks and Rec more.
I think
Ah.
Parks and Rec is better.
Honestly,
I
I
can't
this
feel
is a
like The
tough one.
Office is
name
better,
is,
but
he's like a libertarian and he's like
Yeah,
he hates
Ron
the government,
Swanson.
but he works for yes, Ron Swanson. He hates the government, but he works for the government. I love him.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
this is a hard one. Honestly, I like all 3. Friends, I like because I mean, I wrote a play over it. Office, it was pretty good, and Parks and Rec were pretty good. So this is a tough one for me. I'm not gonna lie. So,
I think
Isaac, what do you say?
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave you with a quote that sums up my favorite, and if you know the show, you do. Otherwise, I'll explain it after. Sting like a bee, but do not float like a butterfly. That's ridiculous. That is Ron Swanson.
Yeah.
I'm-
Love Ron Swanson.
No, I can see Parks and Rec is pretty good. But I mean, but this happens in all the series. There's just those parts that just bore you. But that happens in every season. They're just filler episodes.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna have to. I'll agree with you guys with Parks and Rec. I think they're all pretty close, but I think Parks and Rec just kind of hits the top.
because it doesn't have that toxic community.
Yeah,
Parks and Rec is not toxic.
it doesn't have the toxic community and it has the same humor. So
Yeah.
yeah, Parks and Rec.
I acknowledge that Friends is actually a good show, by the way. I just think it's the least funny thing ever.
I
just
agree
can't
with that.
But you
laugh at it
also
at all.
again have to talk about think about the time period, and that was the humor at the time. But yeah, I mean, it's all like which one do you think is best and personal preference. I think Office is the bottom for me just because the community is like way too cringy. Like I'm not saying it's a bad show. I actually kind of enjoyed watching the show when I watched it, but it just the community just brings it down for me. So
All right. This next one from Joey. Are gamers oppressed by society? Now, I feel very strongly about this one.
let's hear it.
You know,
I
we've-
do.
You know, all three of us have been gamers at one point.
Avid
in our
gamers,
lives.
I'd like to say.
Avid gamers.
I mean, I
of
would not lie. After we're done here, we probably are gonna get a game or two in of any kind of game we get in. Earlier, I was gaming with Adrian, who's in the chat right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm like to say we're pretty avid gamers. So it's kind of
You know,
hits
we've all
home.
experienced the oppression that the society puts on us and the government puts on us. You know,
Definitely
gamers need to break free and rise up. The true
rise up gamers.
the true master race of society. I
We
would
need to
go as
get
far
a
to say.
gamer in
Exactly.
office. A gamer in office.
We do need a
would
gamer
change-
president, the first gamer president.
Look,
Instead
know-
of having press conferences, it's
just
Yeah.
recently I saw a post on Facebook saying, "This is what gamers are going to look like in 20 years," and it looked like the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Dude, I have that picture.
exactly.
Ben, try to get it
This
up.
is
I'll
the
try to
type
get
of
it up.
oppression.
They are criticizing us on our hobbies and saying that we're going to look like the Hunchback. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to look like Igor.
Disgusting.
This is all they think about us is slobs who sit at home, don't do anything else except for game, which is not true. There are plenty of gamers out there that enjoy other hobbies.
All right.
Ben, you got it up?
Almost got it. Yep. Does it show?
This is
Look
the
at that.
That's what
oppression,
gamers look like, apparently.
Apparently, in 20 years, that's what
or
gamers
it's what they're
going
gonna
to
look like in 20 years. Do you see?
I call
my
bullshit.
favorite part of that image. My favorite part of that image is the little indent in the dude.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
from
got headphone
kids.
head, dude. He's got the indent
Apparently,
head.
apparently, this is like squeezing too tight to the point where it's going to leave a big indent in your skull.
A genetic indent.
Yeah, it's going to leave a
Like it's gonna
genetic
pass
indent.
on to your
Offspring.
gamer children. It's
yeah.
like,
And-
what?
In all jokes aside, I think that people do treat people that play video games a little bit harshly in an undeserved way.
See, but
People,
I think we go on, I think it's getting better because a lot more people are getting into the gamer world because it's just improving. It's something that people want to jump into because it's fun. There's nothing
Right,
wrong with
exactly.
playing some video games, dude.
right?
And if
like,
you have some
just
problem
think
with that, then you can screw off.
I think that the older generations specifically, like the ones older than probably our parents' generation,
Yeah.
are really into because they don't get it. Like the things that you can do, like I have friends that have never met some of their friends that they have in real life. I have
Yeah.
friends that I've never met in real life
Oh yeah.
because I play video or I play video games with them. That's really
It
it.
doesn't really make the relationship less real.
Right.
I mean, you should prioritize people you know in real life, but
Ab-
I mean, it doesn't mean they're not your friend just because you've never seen them face to face.
Yeah.
Right.
I have friends that we used to play Rainbow Six Siege on Xbox with. I
Oh,
still
yeah.
text them to this day. We don't
Yeah,
really play
fuck.
too often, but I have them on Snapchat and we text. Dude, gaming creates long-term friendships. I mean, yeah, you have to be careful because there's people out there that like to cause harm, like to DDoS you. If you don't know what DDoSing is, it's pretty much they pull up your IP, then they can see your address, and they like to oh, is this your? They put you in a video call or like a group call, and they're like, oh, is this your address? Ha ha ha. It's usually It's usually some like
TikToks, yeah.
it's like some 12-year-old British kid usually. It's nothing
Mm,
dangerous. But there's
yeah,
some people that like to do that. But
yeah.
usually you
So
can find a good community, and I don't see why this community is oppressed because it's a thoughtful, connecting community.
right, and I can see part of it. Like part of what caused the whole video game scare. Um, I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna probably we're gonna have to not put this on the internet on YouTube. Not
Yeah,
on,
I'm going
we're
to.
gonna have
I
to.
don't care what you're saying.
Okay.
Ben said fuck like
Yeah, I
4
said
times.
fuck 4
I
times
think
last live stream.
I
I think
think
we're
that
fine.
things like mass tragedies, like Columbine and things like that, where they found a way to attribute it to a video game because the people that did that played Doom, and so people have figured out people who were already slightly intolerant to it but didn't have anything to actually pin on it went and jumped to video games. That's it. Video games make people violent. And that's a common belief is that video games make people violent. But
Yeah.
I
But
can
I
tell
mean,
you I
you
play some
gotta
extremely violent video games.
yeah.
I am not a violent person.
You gotta I mean when okay, I don't believe that it makes people violent, but like when you're a parent and you walk in and you see your kid doing that Russian mission on Modern Warfare where they're shooting up an airport,
Oh yeah.
like you're literally just killing civilians.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the first thing that's gonna come to mind?
Right. I agree.
Like,
I think that stuff like that is not a, probably not necessary in the media, but it's freedom of speech
yeah,
and
I don't think it's
freedom of
gonna make somebody
expression.
more violent than they already would.
It wouldn't.
Right.
Woo! Thank you, Adrian, for that
Adrian,
$1.
yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you.
Big guy.
Thank
But
you.
I don't think it would make like that's the biggest thing is that video games make people violent. That's one thing like one of the few like things I don't agree with Trump is that he believes that. I don't. I think that's the stupidest thing ever. I don't think that a game can make someone more violent than they already would be. I think that other things can would lead up to that and then they see these kind of video games and they get ideas. I
Right.
don't think it would make them violent.
Yeah, I think that there is a potential point to what they're saying. I think that if you like, let's say Ben, just as an example of a young person, your cousin, if we were to put him in a room with like Modern Warfare 2 or like Black Ops or one of those classic Call of Duty games and say, this is all you have to play, this is all you can do, and he was to just ingest all of that at a young age, I think it could lead to
I think he would be fine. I'm just gonna be honest. I think he'd be perfectly fine.
Mhm.
Dude, when I was 8, I was playing Call of Duty without my parents' permission all the time.
Yeah, and that's
Right.
isn't that
I
when you
just
I think you told me that you're like, yeah, I wanted to be in the military, and then I realized I have no respawns.
Yeah, that was so funny.
like
When the reality of like being alive hit me at like 11, I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh God!"
But
Like
then,
you
but then
die,
they don't
when
realize.
you die, it's for good.
Then you have
yeah,
games like Animal Crossing where they're just kind of humble games. You just chill and they're good
right,
games. You don't do
exactly.
anything violent. I mean, I don't think there's, but I don't know. I haven't played the new one yet, but I don't think there's
Me either.
violence in it.
I want to though, just because I want to know what the hype is about.
Yeah, but it's like $60 right now, and I also
I
don't have a
know.
Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, dude, who's gonna buy a $60 game to look at a bunch of little cute anime cats or whatever they are?
Yeah, and build your own
Yeah.
town.
Build my
I
own
don't know.
town. Dude, I
I
can
don't.
build my own town in
I
Minecraft
don't diss
right
on
now.
people for buying it because again, that's just kind of their game. I mean, and that's the best thing is you just have so many aspects of the gamer community because each person, like in my like me personally, I'm a first person shooter kind of guy. I like first person shooters, but I like the strategic ones like Rainbow Six Siege. I'm not a big fan of the Call of Duties anymore because I'm not a big fan of the mindless just running around and shooting. That's just kind of boring to me. I like strategic like planning with your team and like kind of first person shooters like that. That's my kind of game and that's where I meet my community. But there's so many different communities out there, and they just kind of put it all into one chunk, one category, which isn't right.
Yeah, like I actually completely agree. And for me, like I personally like to play a lot of the strategic first person shooter games. Like I play a lot of Rainbow Six and I play a lot of CS:GO, but I also enjoy like strategic turn-based games or just turn-based games in general. Like I just recently picked up a copy of Pokemon Shield and I have been grinding that. And
Pokemon
like,
is the best. It's
So
the best games
we
ever.
have a comment from
Exactly.
Rachel Jameson. She said, "My brother used to play those games, and now he's messed up." I'm sorry to hear that about your brother, but in all reality, I don't believe that the games are the reason that he got to that. I feel like there's more behind it. The games maybe kind of did that final set off. That's what I was kind of saying earlier. Is that I don't feel like games get people to that point. I think other aspects get them to that point, and it kind of gives the and then the games with this violence give them the ideas. So I mean, I'm sorry to hear that about your brother, though.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you
I
can get put
completely
on
agree.
edge with games, but like unless you already have something that's wrong or you have a disorder of some sort or just like trauma, unless you have trauma, there's nothing that's going to cause you to feel like, oh, I'm going to go commit a crime or
Right.
I'm going to
Mhm.
do whatever.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's got to be like meditated on for a while. People
Mhm.
usually don't just commit crimes randomly.
I think the biggest risk that video game poses to the youth especially is it can create a potential mindset of like instant gratification, because but that's existent in our society already. But I think that it can create things like people are bad with being patient. It could make someone get a little more frustrated with having to wait, because like in video games now, you can either grind to get something, like just work really hard at something to get it, or microtransactions exist and you can just buy it. So it makes
That.
it so that
Oh no, go
people have a
ahead. Sorry.
problem.
See, that is something that I feel is gone down about the gamer community, like gaming community, especially games like Fortnite, where they pretty much
Oh
trick
god,
it.
Fortnite's horrible.
They pretty much trick kids into spending money on their games. They make it them feel like they need to spend this money and the pay to win type games, and I think it's stupid. How are you going to influence and manipulate kids just to steal them or even their parents' money? Because there's many cases where kids go and steal their parents' credit cards and pay for it that way. I think that's terrible, but that's not on the community's end. That's on the game, like the game designer's end.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
some
think that's
games
definitely.
are
terrible. And
specifically
that's
designed to screw you out of your bank account.
like EA, the entire company's like that. They do
Mhm.
all these microtransactions, all these DLCs that you have to pay for. And pretty much if you don't pay for them, you pretty much just can't play the game. Because
Right.
then
Weaker than
all you
everyone
have
else.
is base maps, base guns, and no one plays on those base maps anymore because they're on the DLCs.
Right.
And it's just kind of it's stupid. It's just like you're forcing me to spend more money. I'm already paying $60 for a game, and you're forcing me to pay another $30 for a DLC. Like I think that's what's gone down about the gamer community. But
Yeah.
that's not the community. That's not the community's fault. That's I mean, and it just sucks that it's like that.
If you ask any like gamer person who is not attached to a company, like someone who just like is an avid player, they hate microtransactions,
Oh yeah.
because no one wants to spend more money on a video game just to be able to win more. People want to be able to buy the game that everyone else buys, play with an equal opportunity to destroy something, win a game, build something cool. Whatever the goal of that video game is, they don't want to pay more money. Like imagine if Minecraft were to start charging you to get the new blocks that they add with every update.
Yeah.
Like
That would
there
suck.
would be an
It would.
uproar. No
Yeah.
one would play the game
No.
anymore. But
And
certain places have rigged their games to look like, oh, there's no competitive advantage, but there really is a competitive advantage to having whatever this item is. And so it's just frustrating.
mhm.
It creates this need in kids' mind.
And that's I mean, I wish the community would kind of come together and fight that, but really don't. I mean, they buy into it because they're like, well, this is a game I enjoyed playing before the DLC came out, and I want to continue enjoying it and kind of keep up on that nostalgia of just playing that game with your friends. So I mean, I wish we would be able to all come together to fight these companies from doing this because it's stupid,
Boycott EA.
especially when it comes to the point of them influencing little kids who are playing like Fortnite. Like it's stupid. Like Roblox does it too. Roblox does
Roblox
it.
does do it.
Yeah.
Roblox is
Yeah.
awesome, but Roblox does it too.
I play Roblox every once in a while because you can never go wrong. You can just bring that back that nostalgia of playing it. But back when I started playing it, you used to have these thing called tickets, which you can buy like outfits with. But now, like they also had Robux, which you have to buy with actual money. And now they only have Robux, and they kind of make it like all these games cost Robux. So like you can only play a set amount of games, and it just kind of this is what little kids play, and then you're forcing them to spend money. Just let little kid play a game.
And the other thing is you're desensitizing them to these microtransactions. Because if the first game that kid picks up is Roblox, and they realize, oh, to get the cool stuff I have to buy it. Then when a
just
game that they're
buy
playing when they're
everything.
older requires them to get the cool stuff by buying it, they're not going to be like, wow, this is different.
Thank you for
Because
that
it's
like,
just the
Adrian.
same old. And yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for the like.
Don't even get like, I mean, and then you get started into mobile games where
Oh
they
my
have
God.
ads every second. Literally, you have to pay microtransactions because they do the thing where, oh, well, you already used all your energy points, so if you wanna, it's gonna take 2 days to regen. So
Yeah,
if you
you
want
either
to, then
buy it or
spend,
you can't play for an entire week.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's just like, or like Ben, you were playing Clash of Clans. Pretty much what they do is
Yeah.
they put cooldown times on, like they put building times that are like a whole entire week, so you can't do anything for that entire week, and it's like, what the heck?
Yeah,
Thank you for that,
exactly.
like Rachel Jameson.
Eli Floodman liked it earlier. too, big
We
guy.
were asked define desensitizing.
I don't know, to microtransactions or to like the
Just
don't know.
games? I
desensitizing
don't
in
know.
general.
Yeah,
I think that my opinion of what that word means is that it makes someone feel mundane to something that should cause them a problem, but because they've seen it so much that it doesn't bother them. Like, or another example of it would be if I were to just repeat the word leaf and say leaf in every sentence, and leaf had to be there. I had to say the word leaf. Sooner or later,
He's
the word
doing it.
leaf begins meaning
He's
something
doing
or
it.
nothing, where then now leaf doesn't mean anything. It's just like the word leaf is just there. It's just leaf. And these guys are laughing at it, but I'm doing it on purpose. Like leaf is just an example of desensitizing someone. I mean,
Wait.
it.
What
You're-
other comments are you
for the rest
talking
of
about?
the
She said, "Why
podcast.
you gotta skip the other comments though? What other comments?" I see the other comments. Yeah, because someone said my little brother and I have been playing those types of games ever since we were younger with my uncles, and we hunt every season. And I don't think we're violent at all. From Brianna Ford. And then Adrian Melgoza said loot boxes are gambling too. If you guys feel that we're trying to skip your messages, that's not the case. It just kind of we were already talking about that. So
It's just with the flow, yeah.
yeah,
I actually completely agree. And on the thing about gambling,
yeah,
most games do some sort of gambling in them, or they have a luck based thing. Again, it's desensitizing kids to gambling. It
Mhm.
starts to mean like, oh, I just have a chance to win.
yeah.
Like even in such a great game that is Rainbow Six Siege, I love Rainbow and everyone should play it. I think.
Rainbow's good.
It has these things called alpha packs that you get from a loot spin that happens after you win every game. And if you don't get it, it increases your chance. And if you lose, it adds more to your chance as well. That, while it's not gambling, it is because your pay to get the spin is you have to win. And so then
Yeah.
if you win a game, that's your pay in to get that alpha pack if you
Yeah.
win the
The
loot
thing is,
roll.
you never have to actually pay. Their
Exact-
system is good, and
Yeah.
it doesn't give you stuff that gives you any like
Competitive advantage.
statistical boost
No.
towards
Right.
anyone else.
And it also isn't worth money. You can't go out and go sell that. So I mean, yeah, it does give that kind of soft gambling aspect, but I feel like the way they do it is they don't force you like to buy them. You can win
Right.
them as long as you win matches. And
Right.
then
Used to be
you get a
kinda bad,
chance to get an
Of
alpha
course.
pack.
Absolutely.
So
I
I mean, yeah,
completely
I
agree
could
and
see
love-
where it's a form of gambling, but if anything, it's a soft kind of gambling. But
Right.
I mean, if you want to talk, CS:GO got in trouble because they did their crates that were gambling, where you would spend
Oh,
actual
yeah.
money
That
and
was a
then you
lawsuit.
get skins. But the only reason why it was a lawsuit because it's actually gambling because these skins you can sell them, and some of them are worth thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah. Like just as an example, because I was looking at this, I actually won a skin from a crate, the Karambit, super important knife.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, for some reason, it just looks cool. And in CS:GO, there is a skin that I don't remember what the skin is called, but it like gives your knife like an oil look, like a colored. It changes
Oh,
with the
yeah.
way the light is on it.
Mm-hmm.
That skin sells for a lot of money on the Steam marketplace. And like I think it's selling for near $1,000, that skin. And like I won one from a crate and I actually really considered selling it, but I just didn't.
Keep it.
Yeah, exactly. But like little kids, not okay, maybe not little kids with CS:GO, but teenagers are being subjected to, if I continue to buy crates, I could get that skin and sell it.
Mhm.
And so like kids are spending their parents' money to get more CS:GO crates, and kids get addicted to opening CS:GO crates. Websites pop up that sell you crates with a better chance of getting good stuff out of it. It was a big deal for quite a while.
All right. I think we should move on. We kind of went down a big rabbit hole
That
there.
was massive.
We
Yeah,
did.
we kind of went off
That
there.
was
So let's
crazy.
move on to the next topic then. And I think it's our final topic for the
Yeah,
night.
this is gonna be the final question here, and it's from Matt's mom, Joanna Ford.
Thank you, Mom.
And we got, what is the difference between cults and religions? What draws the line between the two? And I was thinking
This,
about this
yeah.
earlier. I was looking at the topics, and I was thinking, and me and Matt had a discussion about this, that the difference between cults and religions is that cults are very abusive in the way that they keep you within their religion.
Mhm.
You have to do whatever they say. You have to live a certain way, or else you're shunned, and you can't talk to your family, because if your family doesn't shun you, then the religion will kick them out.
Yeah.
And your whole social system is only the cult, and that's why it's so terrifying to leave.
I think that
Definitely.
another telltale sign of what the difference between a cult and a um, religion is the way that they treat both animals and the way that they treat women. Um,
Oh
Not to
yeah.
say that religions like Islam that don't treat women as highly as like most Western religions are
Hey,
a
you can
cult.
just say they treat them really bad in in the nations that are majority in the
Right.
Middle East, at least. In Indonesia, I think it's actually pretty good. I think
I'm
But
pretty
I
sure
think
it
that
is.
because
that's
Indonesia is majority, they're doing a great job.
Mhm.
I think that's less of the religious aspect and more of the um like the
That's just how
what's
their society works.
right, exactly. And what's the term where it's like I'm blanking on it right now. It's like you do something every year, tradition. Like
Tradition.
they're a very traditional culture, and so then like women didn't have rights back when all of those religions were being founded and all of that. And so then they have chosen to retain the same societal structure.
Mhm.
Women are not superior or equal to men. That's the opinion.
Yeah.
And
Um.
so
Go
I
ahead.
agree with that. Sorry, no, you go.
All right, and a perfect example like that. So my family, I mean, I was kind of bouncing around religion to religion, trying to find the right one. And for a little bit, we actually looked into the Mormon religion, which now I strongly believe is a cult. And
Mormons, yeah.
okay, so we're staying on the woman subject. My mom and my sister went to this like conference for the Mormon church, and pretty much the entire time it was just for girls, it was just for women. And the entire time, all they told them is obey your husband, obey the man, oh my gosh, I can't talk. Obey the man in your life, and like it's just talking, telling you that you have to obey, and that they have final say, and that you're under them, and that's terrible because genders are equal. That's for
Right.
sure.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And
I
we
mean,
should probably say, like, I mean, no disrespect towards any
Oh,
of the religions,
definitely,
but
definitely.
at the same time, it there are some like big red flags in
Yeah.
some major sects like Jehovah's Witnesses. Dude, those
Oh yeah.
guys are
I think that they are
very
too.
abusive to their
Yeah, but
members.
this is just our opinions. I mean, everyone's free to practice any religion they want. We're in America.
right.
Got your First Amendment rights. So, if
And
sorry if we offend anybody.
additionally, we're only speaking from our experience. We're not classifying a whole
Mhm.
group. We're classifying our experience with the people
Yeah.
of said group. Like I've met some super great Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh yeah.
Like I mean,
Same.
and just on the note of Mormons, like the ones that I know are super great people. They're super nice. And like it has nothing to do necessarily with the people who choose that religion. It is moreover the religious structure as a whole and the religion's moral code.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, what obviously there's the cults, like the line between cult and religion is very easy to see when you're talking about like pastafarians.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Giant
yeah, this flying
spaghetti
Or
spaghetti
monster.
like
monster.
Yeah.
Heaven's Gate
Heaven's Gate, yeah,
um,
that
But I wouldn't put Flying Spaghetti Monster into a cult because if you actually look at it, all it is a mockery. It's just mocking
Yeah.
religion,
mhm.
and it just happened that it's just showing that people will believe whatever they're told to believe, and that's the same thing. Is that we're not saying anybody in these religions are bad. That's another they're just born into it.
Right.
But that's
And
any
I think
religion.
like just another example of a obvious cult that has kind of been pushed into the front light is the Scientology. Scientology is
Oh yeah.
something
Yeah,
that
that's actually a perfect. My mom actually brought that up today. That's what brought her the topic because she was looking into Scientology, and she believes strongly that that's a cult.
oh, it absolutely is. Like
Mhm.
the fact that it's as an example to use a little bit of a callback, it's a pay to win religion. The
Yeah.
Oh,
more
yeah,
money
it
that
is.
you give the people that run Scientology, the more likely you are to make it into their whatever, I don't know enough about it,
Like
whatever
their inner
they're considered.
circle.
Right, yeah. And
But
to
another,
you
go
will
ahead.
be looked greatly upon by
Yeah.
the people that come to save us.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like
And
why?
that's another thing is I know at least for Mormons, if okay, so say I was baptized as a Mormon, but my mom wasn't. I would have to get married in a Mormon church, but my mom would not be not like in a Mormon chapel. My mom would not be allowed to go because only Mormons are allowed inside those chapels, and that's another kind of aspect of it that kind of brings it towards that cult side.
It's
Like,
discriminatory.
yeah, definitely, where you have to be baptized into that religion, you have to be practicing that religion in order to go to the church and to the
Right.
chapel. Now, if you were to go to any Catholic chapel, they would let you in open arms. You don't have to be a Catholic. You don't have to be acting Catholic, Christian Catholic. Oh my gosh, I really can't talk. In order to get into the chapel. So
Right. Yeah. And like to be honest, this could be a personal bias towards a religion, but like I think that like Christianity and Catholicism and religions like that, I feel like those are ones that you can't discount their credibility as a religion.
Abrahamic religions like Judaism and Islam too.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Those are
Like
obviously not cults.
right.
but that's
As like
I think that's what the because if you actually look at religion, if some of the stuff we said, they have some aspects of cults.
right.
That's the thing.
And
It's
the
where do you draw that fine line? And I mean, I
Right,
think we kind of
exactly.
hit it, but that's the thing that I think that they were trying to get at is why aren't these other religions cults? Why can we
I
just
think
say
the
that they're
difference
not?
between a cult and a religion, full stop, is the amount of people that follow said group.
No, no.
I don't think
there's-
so. I would disagree with you there.
I
Dude,
think
I
there's
full
don't-
stop,
there's
that's
less
part of it.
than I'm pretty sure it's like 1% of the world's populations are Jews.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a major religion.
Say because
Yeah,
what's
I
going to
mean,
stop? Say a Mormon, all the Mormons just decide, hey, let's just go on a baby boom. Let's just have a crap ton of babies, which
Yeah.
they do.
Mormons
That's
would
the
be,
that's the Mormon religion.
Part of that's part of their belief.
Not all Mormons, but most more some Mormon religions where they have many wives, so that way they can have many children to all reproduce, just in case if I don't know. But that's the thing. Ben, it looks like you have
Yeah.
a family member
Yes,
saying hi to you.
Michelle Shecker.
There you go.
I love her. That's my aunt.
Yeah, but I don't think that population. I don't think that the number of supporters of a religion has anything to do with it being a cult or religion.
I can see that. I think that I guess part of where my opinion comes from is like with the public eye. Like I think that if enough people that whether they follow it or not, they believe that it's not a cult and they believe that there could be some truth to what they're saying and that they could possibly have the explanation for what's out there. I think that you get more credit to be a religion that way. That might be the better way to put that.
Well, this is similar to what's the difference between a religion and a mythology? You know,
Yeah.
because when we think about Greek gods, Roman gods, Egyptian gods, we don't think that that's a religion. Like people actually used to worship that.
Mhm.
We just think that's mythology.
Yeah.
But at some point, that was the major religion.
Yeah.
Right.
That was the Christianity. That was the
Mm-hmm.
Islam.
There are definitely still people that follow those
Yeah, there still
mythologies
are,
as a religion.
Very few people, but it's true.
But yeah, and I mean it's weird and it's interesting how fine of a line it becomes.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know,
it's a-
is
quite a gray
mythology
I don't
or
know.
mythology a cult? I don't think so. I don't think.
I don't think
mythology should
so.
be a cult.
I think it's just a part of human culture.
I don't know. I was really excited for this question. I knew it was going to be a good discussion.
Yeah,
So
I love this.
it's.
But
I mean,
we
we're
ran long
definitely.
a little bit, but
I don't think we're going to have a definite answer here. I don't. It's a really hard kind of line to put up and to look
Right.
at. I mean, you'd have to do like lots of research and put lots of time into this to get the definite answer to
Yeah.
what is the difference between a religion and a cult. I mean, I think we hit some good topics, some good points there.
honestly, I would love to talk more about this. If you're a viewer and you want to message me somewhere or follow me and let me know, I love to talk about religion. It is one of my favorite topics to talk about. I
Hey,
read
if they
about
want to,
obscure
if they want to
religions
hear
and
us
stuff
talk
like
about
that.
it more, then go ahead and either comment, leave a like on this video. We'll talk about it more.
Yes,
Just leave a
absolutely.
comment. Definitely.
Please
Alright.
do, because I love.
All right. Are we gonna call it there then?
Yeah, of course.
Think so.
All
Thank
right.
you guys for watching.
Thank you. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make
We'll
sure
see you
to
next
leave a
week.
comment with your topics for next episode. And this is going to be posted on YouTube. So make sure to check that out. Go subscribe to our YouTube. So thanks, guys. Have a good night.